It was a very quiet voice because I thought it would be loud. Like, it's the day. It wasn't loud at all. It was very quiet. And it was like, it's time.
Hi, y'all. My name is Denasia, and I'm a 22-year-old Type A Black girl from Las Vegas who just moved to New York City last year to work for L'Oreal as a financial analyst.
Hey y'all, my name is Faith, and I'm a 23-year-old Type A Black girl from AZ, living in Denver, working remotely for Cisco as a business analyst.
This season is finally here, and we can't wait to share more about our personal lives, working big girl jobs,
relationships, and life in general as Type A Black girls. Hope you enjoy.
Hi, guys. Welcome back.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Season 8 of Type A Black Girls.
Okay,
Season 9.
Yeah.
Sorry, we filmed season 8 yesterday.
Y'all, the way we've been going,
Bro.
all week.
There's definitely some overlap between seasons.
Yeah. No, we're giving life updates and y'all are like, we don't even know when that's going to happen yet.
No,
we realize
exactly.
this is probably going to come out in like July timeframe.
Yeah, June,
And
July.
right now it's April. So
Shout out to us.
for real. 'Cause we've been working.
No, for real.
But let's go ahead and do classroom announcements and knock them out real quick. I know y'all are sick of hearing this.
No, but like, they gonna listen.
We have to tell
No,
you.
yeah. So to start, for starters, if you've ever bought a coffee, make sure you guys are paying $3 to subscribe to our Patreon. We're posting twice every single month, and $3 really isn't much.
That's half a coffee.
You spent that today.
right.
I believe in it. I know it. So we're trying to get to 50. Right now we're at 9.
41 more to
41
go.
more. Okay. And like we said, I think in last season, we're paying out of pocket for this.
Yes.
A lot. Okay, so we really want to return on our investment this year. That is the biggest
Yeah,
goal.
'cause right now we in the negative. So we need y'all to really lock in.
Y'all got it. I believe in y'all. So definitely check out the Instagram for whatever book we're reading for the book club at the moment, because we haven't picked it because we haven't had a book club yet.
Yeah.
And then last classroom announcement, make sure you guys join the group me. That's where all the Type A Black girls can ask any question that you guys need. If it's not in the free suggestion box, which is in our link tree.
Yep.
If you guys have a dilemma, if it's like, I need this answered in the next 2 hours, join the group me, because the girlies will give you guys paragraphs of answers.
You will get an answer immediately, probably before you press send.
No, exactly.
So definitely join the group me. And also make sure you're submitting questions to our free suggestion box. Yeah. We are no longer saying you got to be a Patreon member to get your questions answered. Yeah. So make sure you're just submitting them, and then we'll answer any dilemma or question you have for us.
Yeah. Okay, but
yeah, you guys haven't seen her yet, but this is our guest for today. Everyone, welcome Imani.
Hi, ladies. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes,
we're so excited. We are so excited.
So I guess let's go ahead and do our OOTD first. Just knock that out.
Yeah. Before introductions. Yeah. So for me, we have. I think I'm Sheen down. Sheen.
Period. Sponsored.
For real. I'm not gonna hold you. Between Zara, Forever 21, and Sheen, they got it.
No, really.
They got it. What about you, Moms?
Yeah, Zara.
Okay, that's what
Forever 21.
Yeah.
Kohl's?
That sounds right. Yeah, you're a Kohl's shoe girly.
That's my mom.
Oh, okay.
You know my mom be like, let's go to Kohl's. And then Sheen.
Yeah.
Sheen. Yeah.
Because it's like with jewelry, I'm gonna
lose it.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Right.
Yeah. What about you?
I lose everything. I have to keep it all on. This is a tried and true. This is from like college.
Period.
Oh, love.
An OG.
And I was like, an OG. We're going to let her circle the block.
Yeah.
And then some tights. I've got on my Prada loafers.
Love.
Period.
And then a little Steve Jobs turtleneck.
Love.
I love that.
Period. We love.
Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this episode. So I had the pleasure of meeting Imani. This was like in January, I think.
Yeah.
So I know I've shouted out Fortune and Forks on the podcast before. Shout out to Fortune and Forks. I joined back in January. Such an amazing group. Like, if you are a woman of color and you're looking to meet friends and meet women that are doing good things like in the city, I would definitely recommend you join. The very first event that I went to was that dinner where I met Imani, and she literally had everyone in there. Our eyes were sweating.
We were crying.
She was talking about her journey and her entrepreneurship journey. It was just so inspiring. And I was listening to you and I was like, we got to have her on the podcast. Like, we got to share this with the Type A Black girlies. So to give a formal introduction, because I was like, let me do my research.
Yeah,
we make sure we get your accolades right.
Yeah.
So Imani Ellis is the founder and CEO of the Creative Collective NYC and CultureCon. You've probably heard of these spaces before if you've seen them. I know I found out about it 2 years ago on like TikTok.
Yeah.
So CultureCon specifically is a multi-city conference where entrepreneurs, creators, and business owners can come together to celebrate their creativity and build together, which we love. It's seen people and guests such as Issa Rae, which we also love.
Oh, that's right.
Spike Lee, John Legend, Naomi Campbell, Will Smith, just to name a few. And this space has really revolutionized how we kind of see the culture and creators, which we love. You've been named a Breakthrough Creative by Ebony, a Diversity Champion by Adweek, and a Visionary by Black Enterprise, and the GOAT by Type A Black Girl.
I know that's right. Yeah.
And we're just really excited to have you today and just kind of dive into how you started your journey, how you started CultureCon and breaked away from where you were with working full-time job versus trying to choose, okay, do I go with my side hustle and choose my passion, or do I continue working with the security of having a full-time job? Because that's kind of us right now. We're full-time and we're doing this on the side. So, but our question of the week, before we dive in, we know that you started your business here in New York. So if you can just give us, like, what is your top restaurant or top food you're going to go to, like, on a Friday night and you're hungry in New York as, like, a certified recommendation?
I love Philippe Chow. They have the best chicken satay. It's up in Midtown. And I went by accident. I went because one of my friends was going to a birthday party. Her +1 canceled. And she kind of was like, you want to come? And I was like, no, that's not the invite I really want, but it's free food. So I said yes. And best fried rice, best chicken satay, best pear sorbet. It's not a every day of the week situation. It's a wear your nice heels and go, but it is so good. And it's like a New York staple.
Oh, wow. Philippe
Chow. It's so good.
Yeah. Noted. Okay, what about you moms?
So I've been here once in high school and then twice this year for the pod. And 7th Street Burger is that girl. Like, oh my gosh. And okay, here's the thing. Can you talk about banana pudding real quick? Because I know.
I don't think y'all know about my banana pudding addiction. I eat banana pudding maybe a couple times a week if I try.
Crazy.
Wait, and where do you go to Magnolia?
No, I don't like Magnolia's banana pudding, surprisingly. I feel like it's just not like it's just not sweet enough. I'll go to Bayona's.
Oh,
it's the spot. Yes, it's in Jersey City. There was a location in New York, and I know because I trekked. It was raining in New York. I literally trekked through the water. Like the subway was flooded. I'm walking through the water.
Oh,
the water's muddy.
It's worth water.
It was
okay.
Worth that.
Yes. Okay.
But why I get there and they was shut down?
Oh,
and they're like, actually, we shut down the New York location. You got to go to Jersey City, where I live.
Wow.
I was hot. I was like, are you kidding? My toes are wet. Like, so, I love banana pudding down. And we went to 7th Street Burger and we realized that Bayona's like they sponsor them and like they give them banana pudding like in 7th Street.
Best
banana pudding I've ever had in my life.
You can get it at 7th Street?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Game changer.
But the thing is, there's so many locations. When we went to another one, only Coca-Cola and Sprite.
Oh, we went in there and I literally was like, where's the banana pudding? And they're like, oh, we ran out or we don't have it. I called the other location. I said, how far are y'all and do you have it in stock? Because it was that serious.
Do you know how happy I am that I am on a Type A podcast talking about food? Like this is everything I've ever dreamed of.
No, literally. No, but I'm a banana pudding fiend. Damn. So anything banana pudding, I'm in there. I think I had a banana pudding milkshake at Cookout when I visited her in North Carolina.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah. Now, do you strawberries, blueberries, or is it just?
Oh, I got to stick to the traditional.
Because
they be having they had a ube flavor, and I said I'm just not
right.
Yeah,
or that's not what we're
cookies
here
and
for.
cream.
Oreo, yeah.
That's what they had. They had cookies and cream left,
and I'm like, I'm not.
And I was like, it's slow for that. So
you know the secret. So my sister's a chef, and do you know the secret to the best banana pudding? It's a little bit of salt.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. It's a little bit of salt.
When I tell you I got my notes app going, I got Philippe, I got salt, like man. Yeah, well, I mean the best banana pudding I ever had was in 2010. Don't laugh.
We're going down this road. We are committing.
My mom had a friend that she had made when we first moved to Vegas, and she was like, okay, like we're gonna invite her over. She turned out to be crazy, and my mom is no longer friends with her. But I was like, can you invite her back just to bring the banana pudding? Just for that. She's trying to be a very, very, very crazy lady, but she made the best banana pudding I've had to this day.
Leave it on the doorstep. And
no, literally. I said, do you have her email or something? Or her phone number? Because she said she didn't have a phone. So I don't know how my mom was contacting this lady. I'm like on Outlook.
Wait a minute.
But
what about your moms?
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably Fushimi.
Never.
It's this Asian fusion place. I don't even eat sushi. It's a sushi place, but they got the best short rib in the city. I get that because I don't eat like any seafood. So
okay,
but they have like short rib with like mashed potatoes, and they had like a broccolini and fried rice, and it was amazing.
Oh, 2 starches?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I probably say fushimi. But I'm trying to expand my palate more because I feel like when I find a place, I just like I run it to the ground. And I'll
Me
eat there over and
too.
over again.
And I mess it up.
Right. And
Yeah.
I'm like, now I hate it because I just ate it so much. But yeah, like I feel like there's too many places here in the city to not eat the same place twice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Not our first tangent.
No. First of
One thing
many,
about
I'm
us.
not going to hold you. But to start off for the episode, we're going to start asking. It's really going to be interview style with a side of tangents, honestly. But to start off, Imani, take it to the very start. Ground zero. Can you talk about how CCNYC and CultureCon were born?
Yeah, so I was a publicist in the city,
Okay.
and I loved my job. It was really stressful, but I loved it. And I was doing crisis PR. And so whenever there was a fire or a mishap, I was working really closely with the talent to kind of get it tied up with a bow.
Yeah.
And we were also doing the fun things like the red carpets and the press appearances. And I really had thought this was it. Like I was happy with my job. Everything was great. But there was a little tinkling that was like, where's your community? Like you've got your work friends, but like where are the creatives that like you're building with? And I had seen the musical with my mom, Rent, and it was so good.
Oh, yeah.
And I just was like, this is my version of New York. I mean, minus a few of the things, but I want a community like this. And so I was like, well, why don't I invite some friends over? I'll cook for them. The stakes are really low. And the only rule was that they had to bring someone they could vouch for. Because I'm like, it's my apartment. I don't want my iPhone charger going missing. Like, who's using the bathroom?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and it was 10 people. Everyone brought one person, 20 people. I cooked for them and we went around the room and the prompt was, what are you working on? And it can't be work. And so people were working on self-esteem. People were working on finding the courage to like leave a relationship. People were working on announcing their side project.
Oh, wow.
And we went around the room and I thought, okay, one and done. That's it. But as my friend left the room, Michael, he said, what is this? Like, what are we calling this? And I'm like, it's a collective. It's the creative collective. And that was how it was
Wow.
born. We kept doing it month over month until we outgrew the living room.
Yeah.
And that's when we were doing events all over the city.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew, I got chills.
That's literally
amazing.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Like that's and what year was this?
So this was in 2017.
Okay.
And again, a little delulu. I'm not going to hold you. I was like, let's throw a conference. We're doing all these events. Let's take all of these events, do them in one day. It'll be a conference. How hard can it be?
Yeah.
How
Right.
hard can it be? It was really hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard, but it was a good kind of hard. It was worth it.
Yeah.
And we were running around, didn't even have walkie-talkies, texting each other. And the first CultureCon, Spike Lee was our keynote speaker, had 200 people. And I really thought, we said we'd do it. We did it. It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we looked at the waiting list for the event and over 500 people had signed up to come to CultureCon. And I think that was the first time I was like, oh,
This is real.
Like people really need this community. I thought selfishly only I needed it.
Yeah.
But it was like, wait, we're all trying to figure out what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. And I know like you mentioned at the time you were working at NBC. So you're like balancing this with your 9 to 5. What did that look like? Like at what point did you know, okay, I need to choose between working full time and being an entrepreneur, like your breaking point?
Yeah.
It took a long time. I mean, I just left NBC last year. I started this in 2017. And so I always encourage entrepreneurs, you really have to listen to yourself because if you listen to other people's journeys, sometimes some of it sticks, sometimes some of it doesn't. For me, I was learning a lot at NBC. I had a really great boss who empowered me. I was leading teams of people. I was traveling the world. I was getting to learn how to handle problems and scale things. And I was like, this is like business school, except for I'm getting paid for it.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to structure things and balance budgets. And
Wow.
I really like it. And so I encourage you, if you have a 9 to 5, don't just think about what you're giving them. Think about what you're getting. What could you be learning? And for me, I mean, it really wasn't balance. If I'm being honest with you, it was sacrifice. But I knew that it'd be a season of sacrifice and then a season of gathering the fruits of the labor. I was like, I won't sacrifice for always,
Yeah.
but what I was doing was I was getting into the office like 7 a.m., working till like 6 or 7 p.m.
9 to 5 doesn't exist.
Right, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Dinner break. And then I was a publicist for a live talk show host. It was at 11 p.m. So I'd have a dinner break.
gosh.
Yeah, I'd go home,
Wow.
dinner break, maybe a little bit of CCNYC.
Yeah.
Go to Watch What Happens live at 11 o'clock. Wrap that like 12:30. Go home. Maybe I'm getting home at like 1:30. Go straight to sleep, wake up and do it again. There were certain, of course, I didn't go to Watch What Happens live every single night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was so obsessed with like Andy and that job and that show that like it got everything. So it was like I had 2 jobs. But that wasn't until the end. In the beginning, it was very little because I didn't really think it would ever get bigger.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made it super community oriented. Was it wasn't a business. There was no business plan. It was just like Black creatives need a space. Me and my friends are doing this for fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the very end when CultureCon was scaling that I really was like, okay, now I have 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, I had like a hobby and a job.
Yeah.
Right.
By the end, I was doing BravoCon and CultureCon, and I was feeling, you know what? It's time for you to really take, this next leap.
Wow.
And I know you mentioned before, like BravoCon and CultureCon were a week apart.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, I can't imagine, as a type A girly,
A,
like
yeah.
my brain is like combusting. Like, I
No,
can't imagine the
literally.
stress of planning that. And
Yeah.
like, even just thinking like, how do I tell my full-time job I'm now leaving, and like that process? What does that look like when you're trying to tell your job, like, I have this side hustle and this passion, but also I've been at my other job for like years and I've built this community there too.
I mean, having a strong support system, I don't take that for granted, right? And so with my former boss, I started as her assistant. And so I really did work my way up. I started as an assistant. I left as a vice president.
Wow.
And so I really had given the company a decade of my life, a third of my life.
Yeah.
And I had loved every minute of it. And I think what I realized is it should be hard to say goodbye to things that you love, right? I think if you tell yourself, if you're ready to leave too soon, maybe it wasn't the best situation. I think sometimes like hard things are just hard, but sometimes the end of something is the beginning of something else. And so it was so hard. And I definitely sat in the waiting period for a while because on one hand, I had my dream job. I had prayed for it. I had an amazing support system. And I was in a position to bring in so many new diverse ideas as a Black vice president. But on the other hand, you're going to CultureCon and you're seeing people's lives transformed, and you're seeing people saying, wait, a Black woman did this? A Black team did this? And I think I really wrestled with it. And finally, it was a very quiet voice because I thought it would be loud. Like, it's the day. It wasn't loud at all. It was very quiet. And it was like, it's time. It's time. And my parents said, of course it's going to be hard. You love where you are.
Yeah.
But also, you got to bet on yourself. And so what I did was I had to put a type A, I had to put a date on the calendar. Because without that, I would have found a reason to stay forever.
Yeah.
It was really a hard decision. But when you leave things the right way, you can always go back.
Yeah.
So last year, for BravoCon, I got to go back to BravoCon
Oh, wow.
and I got to be a moderator for panels.
Oh,
And
amazing.
NBC
That's like our dream.
Yeah.
And NBC Universal is a sponsor of CultureCon.
Oh,
so-
like both your worlds came together.
Yeah.
So it's like if you do right by people and you do what you're supposed to do and, you're kind of like giving your all while you can go home again. It doesn't have to be the end. It's kind of like, it's just going to look a little bit different.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like my favorite version of the story. Like I still talk to my former boss. I still talk to Andy.
Yeah.
And so I always tell folks, like, if you have a side hustle, your main hustle should not feel it. If your main hustle feels your side hustle, you are not doing it right. And so even with Creative Collective, I got promoted 5 times at work because my work did not suffer.
Yeah.
And so I think you just have to think about, can I really show up and put my name on this piece of work? I think a lot of people find a hobby and they're like, okay, who cares about my 9 to 5? But it's like, that's your livelihood.
That's
You
you're paying rent.
You should
Right.
care. You should care about
You
your.
got bills.
Yeah, you got bills.
Yeah,
Okay.
So yeah, it was a beautiful experience, and I think looking back, I can kind of tell the like Cliff Note story. But when I was in it, I wrestled with it a lot.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
I bet. I feel like especially as type A girlies, like just the idea of not having the control of knowing what's going to happen once you leave.
Exactly.
Like,
the known. Huh.
oh,
Yeah.
we got chills just thinking about
No,
it.
literally, yeah.
you know.
But like in your social life, because like doing the Andy show and doing NBC, like how did that take a toll? Because really you had to pick and choose.
yeah,
And it didn't seem like you had time to even breathe. So what impact did that make on your social life?
I've always, and maybe it's because I'm a former athlete, I've always believed that like you can sacrifice now for benefits later.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I really was able to weigh the cost pretty young. Like I had been interning in New York since I was like 18,
Wow.
19 years old. I always knew I wanted to live here as soon as I visited.
Yeah.
So there was kind of a point of like diminishing returns in terms of the day parties. Like I love a day party.
Love a day
I love a brunch.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where I was like, do I need to do it every weekend?
Yeah.
Mm.
And that was kind of like the conversations I was having with myself.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get me wrong, I still was like showing up in social gatherings. I just wasn't at every social gathering because I was like, if I really care about CultureCon the way that I say that I do, I have to work on it.
Yeah.
But it was hard, y'all. Like I think I look back and I just was like, there was something inside of me that just said, this is bigger than you.
Mm.
And also I try to not lie to myself, meaning if something's going to be hard, I don't say it's going to be easy. I'm like, these next 3 weeks, they're going to be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that helps me mentally because if I tell myself it's easy, anyone could do it, I think that I'm setting myself up for kind of like disaster. So
Yeah.
I think back to the question of like social, it was like, okay, is this a birthday party? Is this a key milestone for my friends? Is this something where I really need to show up and my presence means something?
Mm-hmm.
Or is this a party with 5,000 people and like I really wouldn't be missed and I can catch up with them next week?
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the checks and balances, I think.
Love.
Yeah.
No,
I love that, especially as a girl that suffers from FOMO easily. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's like,
But you're not missing
like-
out.
But then you get there and I'm like, oh, I really could have missed this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's very hard to like get a grasp on for me, at least personally. But
Yeah. I
Once
like
you
to-
get that-
I like to sleep. So I
yeah,
I really
it's like,
yeah, I'm not.
we're going to take a nap.
No, quickly, dude, daily. Today, I'm like, I might need a matcha, but I'm like, okay, let's just try to grind it out and take a nap after.
Right.
I love matcha. So good.
no, the best matcha is literally right next door. Strawberry matcha,
promise you.
life changing.
Okay, no, wait. You don't do strawberries in the banana pudding, but you'll do strawberries in your matcha.
Listen, I've never put anything in my matcha because I'm a matcha girl down, and I used to get it at Starbucks in college, but now I can't go to Starbucks. So that place, and I don't like
yeah.
oat milk either.
Oh.
Oat milk, strawberry.
You don't
matcha
even
latte.
need regular milk.
I promise you.
Yeah.
You gotta go after.
Watch
okay.
her gassing it up
No,
so much.
no,
I'm about to text y'all like it's amazing. I can't.
Yeah. But just literally a grand time. So you mentioned that this company is dedicated to making sure Black and Brown creatives can show up as their full, unapologetic selves and live in their truth and passion. I imagine that you might have had to do some internal work to kind of realize that this is like truly like this is me, this is my calling. What did that journey look like? Can you like walk us through like what that looked like and how you knew like this is meant for me, I'm supposed to be the CEO of CultureCon and CCNYC?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think your calling is something that's hard to find, but not because it's hard to locate, because it's something that's right in front of you. So it's almost like the perfume that you wear that you can't smell anymore, but everyone around you is like, you smell so good.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. So for me, there were certain things that came very easily to me. One of those things is like reading a room. So I'm an introvert and I'm very aware of like energy. I'm very aware of dynamics. It's so funny. Like I used to be on like conference calls and there'd be someone who would just like take over the whole meeting.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, they don't feel themselves taking over
Self-awareness?
the whole meeting.
Right. It's just not there.
Yeah, and you guys know which coworker. You guys have it in
you
your
thought
head
of him right now. Or her.
Yeah. Her for me. Yeah.
And I would feel for everyone on the call who wanted to speak up. And I think that was my superpower in terms of curating rooms.
Yeah.
So when I would invite people over, I had icebreakers. I had things that encouraged play. I had these level setters. So like you didn't lead with like your title. You didn't lead with like what neighborhood you live in.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't lead with these kind of like things that normally you lead with.
Yeah.
And it democratized kind of the conversation.
Love.
Wow.
And so I think that was a big piece of it. I also realized that, and we just are kind of talking about this, but like the loudest person in the room doesn't always know what they're talking about. And so I would get into these rooms where people would be, you know, sometimes very loud. And so it would make me doubt my quieter voice. But I started kind of putting myself on these like little quests when I was in corporate. And so it started with my boss. She was amazing. She was like, Imani, you need more executive presence. And at first I was like,
Jacked.
Goodness. No, literally.
But then I was like, wait, there's something there. Like, And what she was saying is like, you have a tendency, you go into the room, you're sitting on the couch, sit at the table. No one said you couldn't sit at the table. You've already disqualified yourself. And so I gave myself these little quests. I was like, this week, you're going to sit at the table. Next week, you're going to give an update. The week after that, you're going to give an update first. And like, I kept giving myself these little quests and I was like faking it till I made it because it wasn't natural. But once I realized that you can kind of create this momentum of confidence, I was like, well, pair that with the fact that I'm good at my job. I'm gonna,
unbeatable.
We can do it. And then it's just not being above, you know, feedback. I think, you know, we hear leader and people think it's from the front, but I think leaders lead from the back. I think you're in the back pushing the team forward.
Yeah.
What are their ideas? Like, what are they thinking? What are the blind spots? And then you're in the back to catch it, to make sure that like we're not leaving anything on the table. But if you're in the front and nothing else is inspiring you, it's like, yeah, the collective can't be the Imani show, right? It's got to be collective.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're in the front, you can't see the back.
You can't see you. You can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That made, like, when you were saying like having somebody like a leader like push you up, I'm thinking of my manager and I'm like, I just got a new role and I'm starting in 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'm going to cry when I leave this team. Like, love the team, just not the job.
Right.
And just like, you got to know, like, it's time for you to go.
It's
like
time.
If you're like genuinely miserable when a fire drill comes up, it's a fire drill. Of course you're gonna be miserable, but like start looking at that internal portal quickly too. And it's like, start reaching out to your mentors. And like with my manager, when I told him, I was like, hey, I got a new role. He was like, well, thank you. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Like, you said when you first started, you want to become a project manager and you said you wanted to be here for less than 2 years and you did it. I'm so proud of you, but why didn't you tell me? And I was like, I didn't know the corporate protocol. Everybody was telling me like, you got to like
keep
quiet, you know? And he was like, I knew the hiring manager. I would have put you on. I'm glad you did it by yourself, but I could have put you on. But he was like, either way, you can put one-on-ones on my calendar. I could be like a mentor to you now. Like, and he's always been like a grandpa to me. Like, that's how I see him, you know, because he looks like my grandpa a little bit, just like that. But like, I'm just like, wow, like a good manager could really make or break. And when you were saying like,
especially early on,
early in career, having a good manager, like I really am just like, you will be the standard until I retire.
Oh yeah.
Literally.
Like, I love me some Sam. So yeah, when you were saying it, I was like, dang, I'm getting a little sad.
I know.
You know, I'm about to leave my manager. So I'm really trying to soak up, you know, our one-on-ones and things like that. But yeah, it's honestly having a good leader that really will be like, okay, what do you need? And what do you think? And then going to having that banter back and forth. And it's like, I don't take criticism very well. Why are you telling me I'm wrong? But it's like, it's not that you're wrong. I just, for the betterment of the team, I need to make sure you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, he rocked my type A-ness a little bit.
And I think those are the best managers. Like, I think back to my first manager when I started at L'Oreal, and he was literally like eating me up. After every call, he'd be like, next time, how about you like actually, like, instead of just trying to speak, just you can try to like put yourself out there, like
Mhm.
really think about, are you adding value to the conversation? Are you just repeating everything else? That way you can just feel like, okay, at least I contributed. Like,
Yeah.
how are you actually representing yourself? And he was like, realistically, what would somebody say about you if I asked what type of worker you are or how you are in the company? And he was like, you should just start thinking about that before you do anything, because then you set a precedent early on.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was like, you're only 3 months in. Like, you can build a whole dynamic of whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because I'm an introvert too. And he was like, just because you're an introvert doesn't mean you can't fool anyone.
I'm great at faking it. As
was
I've
like, I
gotten
can fake
older, I'm more of a ambivert. But when I was younger, I was definitely extrovert. Like da 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 da. I'm like, I'm a yapper. I'm a yapper. But not every. It's okay to be quiet.
Yeah.
And I've learned that.
Finding the balance is where it's at, especially at work. Because I used to get so intimidated. I'd be in a meeting and I'm like, oh my gosh, all these people are way more qualified than me. What am I going to add to the conversation? And it's like, I'm literally like the intern or whatever it is. But
Yeah.
it's like, in reality, you're there for a reason.
They hired you for a reason.
Right.
Everybody's
Yeah.
faking it is what I figured out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I mean, you might have a little bit more years on me, but you also don't know what's going on.
Everyone is a beginner in some sense.
Yes,
Yeah.
bro. And it's like, what are you good at? Like on the team, what are you the best at? I'm like, I'm the best at making everybody comfortable and getting people out of their shells. Like I will be like, what you eat right there? Talking about some jelly beans. Oh, let's talk about jelly beans for 5 minutes. And now we just like, we got that. Now we can talk about the products and all that stuff and manufacturing, but we talk about jelly bean for 5 minutes. We're friends now. Like, when I email you, you're gonna email me back in 5 minutes. And like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just
Like
like
built that rapport.
I'm really good at building
relationships.
rapport.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm honestly, my manager's like, you know, you met with 44% of the people under your VP, and I was like, you know what, I did do that. You know, that was one of my. It was 100%, but like 44 is still good. And he's like I said, Faith, you are great at relationship management. And I was like, so. Talking has just a corporate word, relationship management. I'm really good at that. Yeah,
It's right in front of you.
screaming.
Yeah.
And to your point, it's like, are you adding value? And value doesn't always mean it's technical.
No,
It's
right.
your point of view. It's
Mhm.
like the blind spots. I remember I came in and, this was when, one of the shows, it was one of my favorite shows.
Mhm.
So I didn't need to study it at all. And we were in this marketing call and there was a question and it was just like crickets. And I was like, girl, if you don't speak up,
You
you're
gotta
from
push.
you're from Atlanta.
Yeah.
You're a Black woman. This is your demographic.
Right. You
Like,
know this.
You have been put here for this moment.
Yeah.
And I whispered and it landed and we went with it.
Yay.
And again, it's like you got to keep those little receipts to remind yourself, like, you're here for a reason. And criticism is good. Not all
Yes.
criticism is bad. It's not personal.
which is hard.
But you got to rethink it. I'll tell y'all a quick little story about that changed my life with criticism.
Yeah.
So I did ballet for 14 years at Atlanta Ballet. Loved it.
Oh my God, I was a
And
ballerina too.
were you?
Yes, little pointy shoes.
Right. But it changed the way I looked at criticism because, we'd be at the bar for hours and our director, he would always have something to say. You're not turned out. You're not flexible. Da, 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 da. It was when he walked by you and said nothing that you should be concerned because he'd given up on you. It was like, there's nothing here. There's no more potential.
Wow.
If he's correcting you, it's to get you ready for the next level.
Mhm.
Now, some criticism is hateration,
Yeah.
Right.
but some criticism is based in truth.
Yeah.
And you got to have discernment to figure out the difference because you could be shooting yourself in the foot thinking everything's personal, everything's hateration, when really it's like, if she would have told me I needed more executive presence and I was like, what a hater, I probably would have not been a vice president.
Yeah.
Because I would have been like, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because it's personal. So I always kind of like use that as a rewiring because it's like sometimes it's not to make you feel small. Sometimes it's to prepare you to be very big.
For the next step.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
So
they
it's-
see that potential.
they
in
see
you.
potential. And so now when people give me feedback or criticism, I'm like, please, because it's like, I want to reach optimal potential.
Yeah.
Like I want to be abundant and I can't be abundant if I'm like, only I know the way. So
Yeah.
just drop that
Just drop
there.
a little gem.
I told you we'd be going
Something
to
for the girls.
We love a good tangent.
Yeah.
Here on Tell You Black
Right.
Girls, we love a
Right.
good
We went
tangent.
over the river and through the woods. I don't even remember the original.
I don't even know. Let's
That's
move to
why
the
we-
next
that's why we
question.
have this
That's why we have this.
Yeah.
So if you could go back and tell yourself something in 2017 that would kind of help you more on this journey, what would you say?
Maybe worry less. Like as a Black type A girly, I know it's like it's in our blood to overthink it all. But like control really is an illusion. And I think I used to do these little like, if I do it like this and then this will happen like that. And what I've realized is like those were rituals and they weren't real. It was trying to manipulate something that I didn't have control over. So I would just like one time I was planning this huge party and like I looked at the weather app and sunny, sunny, sunny on the day of the party, rain. And both my parents are preachers. I text. Stop, Faith. What?
Yeah, two levels. Grandparents too. Yeah.
Wow.
My grandparents had the biggest Black mega church in Arizona in the 90s, in the early 2000s. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It runs deep.
It runs deep.
Yeah.
You know, I texted my parents and was like, "Hey, can you send like an extra prayer that the sun comes out?"
Right.
You all, I mean, an extra.
I need everybody on
everyone on my side. And like, you know, I giggle about it, but it was like, girl, like some things you can control, an amazing party.
Yeah.
Some things you have to let go of. You can't control the weather. So I would just worry a little bit less.
Right. Just bring umbrellas. Do what you can.
Right. Like it's not, it was an amazing party. Nobody remembered the rain, but I was stressed out.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the stress. I would be like, woo, party canceled, y'all.
Literally. Everybody, like when I was about to like trying to get my new job and I was like on the 4th interview on my way to the 5th, I'm like, I called everybody. I said, "Hey, I need you to put an extra prayer for me. I need you to everybody in the prayer circle start speaking in tongues. Let's get it going because I need a new job." Like the tears of all those rejections trying to get a new job. Like, oh, we're unfortunately and then the ghosting, like
oh god,
like so you need your parents' prayers.
No, literally.
Like
I'm calling grandma.
Okay,
Yes.
listen, get in the prayer, get on that prayer
Right, because I know Brenda Bill will get me right.
Yeah,
every time.
quickly. Beverly got it.
I agree with y'all because prayer is a good thing. And I think it's like you got to like, even if it doesn't go exactly the way you thought, understanding that like all things work together.
Happen
So
for a reason.
maybe that wasn't for you.
Yep.
Exactly.
And rejection is redirection.
Absolutely.
We're learning that, especially this week. I mean,
Ooh, we've had so many things go awry, and it's like, okay, we can only control what we can't control.
Right.
We're not going to lose sleep over it because I will literally stress myself out.
and it's just like, what's the solution? And the thing is, a year ago, if this week happened to us, beats us.
We don't know what would
within
happen.
this the year 2 of Type A Black girls, we've grown so much between our friendship, being business partners, just being Type A Black girlies in general. Like we've grown so much, and like I'm even telling my sisters about what's going on. My sister's like, "Oh, that's growth."
No, literally.
Like, oh
my mom is like, "Oh my god, like." Good job. Like she only sees what I post on like the Insta Reels when I really tell her like what's going on. And she's like, I'm proud because in reality, it's like you probably didn't think you guys would have got this far when you started in your bedrooms in like 2022. And
look at that.
Here. And
No facts. Yeah. It's like
that's amazing.
No, literally. Like it's like I'm actively seeing it. Like for me to be solution based, I would just be like try to control everything. Well, you can't.
Yeah.
Which is hard for the Type A Black girlies.
It's very hard. Even when it comes to like content, like learning how to be more vulnerable and open, like we're really putting our whole lives online, and it's so hard to learn what the line is. Like I feel like we've really mastered that to where we can share and make sure we give like a space for the Type A Black girlies, but also like this is still our lives.
At the end of the day,
like, sacred for us, you know?
Exactly.
And we're figuring that out too.
I don't know. Type A Black girls has definitely been
the most unexpected learning
experience. Like how to be business partners, how to like send decent emails, because they corporate versus like a Type A. Like,
right. This is like our side hustle. So we're like,
it's like, how do we
like keep it casual but cute? But
how do we pull in? It's been a learning curve. But I think we're at the end of the tunnel.
And I feel like we honestly became accidental entrepreneurs. Like we started this
not thinking,
kind of as not I want to say as a joke, but we were just like, let's just record our conversations. Like we be talking, let's just press start one day.
We would talk for like 3 hours catching up. Like I would tell my fiance like, hey, it's a Denasia night. He know it's time to game
all night.
It's time to game. Exactly. So we would catch up because we met on Twitter, like she said, and then we would watch like Money Heist.
Yeah, we would watch
or Insecure
because it was the middle of the pandemic.
I was like, what season? Because Money Heist went on and on,
and the deaths
and everybody dying. No spoilers, but y'all know
they in there. Like
and we were like, okay, like let's just talk. We would just talk everything life related.
Yeah.
And one day we were like, this could be a podcast, and we said that so many times. And one day we were like,
finally did it.
Downloaded Anchor,
and
just press play. And now were an LLP,
And it was really hard because like I'm an avid overshare. Now I've gone down. She's very private. She's gone up. So like we're like now
we're in the middle.
We're in the middle. We're meeting each other there.
Wait, how does one realize they're an avid overshare?
Oh, I just love to talk. I just like
I think it was because there was things where I was like, Faith, maybe we shouldn't say that.
and I was like, no, that's regular. Like,
And then she would be like, well, maybe we should say that more. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Like we would kind of realize like, okay, she likes to share. I was a little bit more private.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, now I'm sharing more. And now you're realizing, okay, maybe I shouldn't say that.
yeah, exactly. So it's been a learning. I knew I was an overshare when one of my best friends in high school, we were on the basketball team. That's a whole nother thing. And she was like, at one point, I deleted you off of Snapchat because you posted too much.
I remember your Snapchatting. Like you'd be able to find her. If there was a stalker, he could find her and
Play
kill
by
her.
play.
Because she's like,
no, literally tagging.
Live updates.
Yeah. No, when I tell you there's been so much growth from like 14 to 24.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. And it's like I tried to be a private girly last year and it was miserable. Oh my gosh. Like I did not enjoy it at all. But now I'm like, okay, I did that. That was cool for a year, but now I'm finding my happy medium. Yeah. And now I'm getting back to like that could go into close friends.
Yeah.
I'm very avid close friends.
No, for real. Close friends
it's a nice solve. It's like right there in the middle.
It's like the girlies that I really want to know my business, they got it, but like it's not like the general public, like that random guy when I was single that is still on my Instagram.
Right.
Yeah. So we when we first started, I was like, we're just alike. But as we're doing in this business,
this has helped us learn so much about each other.
Yeah.
Like I think I've learned more about you on the podcast than even in our own day-to-day conversations.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah. We're like in some ways, but different in a lot more ways.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you all started. I feel so seen. And when you told me the title, I remember the whole table was like, what's the name of it?
It was every type A girl ever in the room. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. I felt so seen. So thank y'all.
No, of
yes,
course.
thank you.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful time.
It has.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've really like learned a lot.
A lot about everything.
On accident. I didn't even know it was gonna happen.
No, exactly.
I think that's how it happens the best.
That's the most like rewarding way when it's like, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
On accident.
Right.
Yeah. And in college, we started this in college and we were trying to graduate. That's it. And just do the pod. That's it. And we were doing it every single week. And sometimes I'd be like, our schedule, trying to do final, trying to graduate.
You'd be like, girl, I got a test at 3. Can we please do 4?
Yeah. Like,
wow.
Yeah. But I guess speaking of collaboration.
No, exactly.
Like we were wondering for you, I know you mentioned like NBC is one of your sponsors now and you're now collaborating with other brands. Like how did you kind of determine like what brands fit your vision? And like I feel like especially when you're first starting out, it's like I just need somebody to sponsor me.
That's it.
Like you're willing to take anybody. Like how are you kind of like, okay, this is the brand that's going to work best for my vision for CultureCon?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you want to define like your values as a person and then your values as a company.
Yeah.
And then when people are coming, whether it's a brand or someone that you want to work with, like, do we have aligned values? Because that can solve you so much heartbreak, even in any kind of collaboration. And I think, it was the same for us in the beginning. I didn't even know what a partnership was. In PR, there is no budget. It's like you're convincing people that your talent or your story is like something they should write about. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of was like, I didn't know that was an avenue. And so when we started CultureCon, at the end, we had, some folks come up and they were like, what would it look like if we sponsored this? And I said, what would it look like? I don't know. I don't know. And so it kind of happens like that, even the way you all just described your story of like, we've learned so much we didn't know even what we were learning. Yeah. It's kind of like the opportunity comes and then you've been working already. So like you meet yourself with the opportunity and all the gaps and things that you don't know, you just ask. So they were asking us for a deck. We didn't have a deck.
That literally just happened to us. That literally just happened to us.
We were like, we're getting some high profile people in here.
We reached out to like an influencer and they were like, well, we need a deck of all your stats. We need to know your
Yes.
All the stuff.
And I'm like, well, let me get in Canva and put something together.
That's exactly how it goes. So they're like, well, you need a deck. I went and made a deck.
Yeah. Right.
And then you present the deck and they're like, this needs more stats. You go and put more stats.
Yeah.
Right.
Then they're like, previous talent. You go put preview, and that's real. I mean, that is business. Is someone introducing a concept you've never heard, you building it, learning about it, and then when you hear it the next time,
now you know.
now you know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, this was meant to happen.
This is
'Cause
very.
we're literally living this in real time.
Literally,
Yes.
yeah.
And because you're type A, don't take forever to make your deck. Like, give yourself a deadline.
Right. Because it definitely did.
I know. Just say, this is the first version of the deck. There's going to be many versions of the deck, but don't let, what is the quote? It's like, don't let perfect be the enemy of great. So it's just frozen, you know, in the drafts because it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But you could have been securing sponsorship if you would have sent it out.
Yeah.
And
They're not worried about the colors.
Yeah.
No.
The font is okay.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the only thing is like, give yourself deadlines and be like, it's just the first version. And we'll do a second version when we need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's
I need to
very
write that one
validating.
down
This
because
is
the way I
something-
was like, oh, the font is not right, y'all. We need to work on this.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So if you could take CultureCon globally to any city, which would it be and why?
Ooh. You know, I was talking with a friend about this and I was like, do we want a CultureCon Paris or do we want a CultureCon London? Do we want a CultureCon, you know, obviously Ghana's the place to be.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Ghana's the place to be
And
in
Denny December already.
Right.
That is a really good look.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do y'all think?
I don't know.
Honestly, I would say Africa.
Did you see the Topicals collab
the
in
trip?
Ghana? That
Beautiful.
beautiful. If you can make some shake like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like
Yeah.
South Africa, like I'm going to Kenya in July and I'm literally like my first ever Africa experience. Honestly, anywhere, but I would say like Kenya, Ghana, or like South Africa.
There's something about going home.
Just going
right?
home.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
Feeling like I'm with my roots.
I'm here.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. We got to work on that. We got to work on that.
That'd be
my gosh.
beautiful.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like I first saw CultureCon from influencers last year.
Okay.
So when Anasia was like, I saw CultureCon, and I was like, when she went to Fortune and Forks, and I was like, oh, this is what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah,
Literally.
like because I saw her, I saw it last year, so it was really, it's really full circle right
Yeah.
now. Like I didn't even think about. You don't think about the CEO
Right,
of things.
yeah.
It's like, oh, this is an event. And all
Yeah.
black people was at it. This looks,
Right.
and everybody looked nice, like dressed down.
Down. We was
Now
like
that
the
part,
fits?
oh, the
Ugh.
fits, unreal.
Outfit of the day would go stupid.
It's the Met Gala for creatives. There's
Yeah.
nothing. I mean, the fits. And honestly, we used to have a tradition where we wore like sweatshirts and jeans.
Wow.
And finally, someone on my team was like tapping me on the shoulder. They were like, "You can't wear this anymore to CultureCon."
Right.
They humbled me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Heard you."
oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Got it.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. We're gonna let everybody on the team get their fits, let them cook.
Absolutely.
Do what they gotta do.
So for CultureCon, do you have a stylist or like do you style yourself?
I style myself.
Love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now there have been seasons where I had a stylist, but last year I kind of had to come back to myself. I took a whole creative residency because I was so burnt out that like I didn't know what I liked anymore.
Oh.
I was like, because everything was like, this is what everyone else likes, and I'm like,
Yes.
what do I like?
Right.
And so I had to start with, I had just bought a home in Atlanta, and I was like, thank you, and I was like, I need to decorate my home how I like it, and I need so. It all goes back with the stylist. I was like, Imani, style yourself. Like,
yeah.
you know what clothes look good on your body.
What do
you
you
know,
wanna wear?
you know what colors. You know what you want to wear.
Yeah.
And my sister, I love my sister. I have two and a little brother, but my little sister was like, snap out of it. Like, you know how to dress.
That's what sisters
One thing
are for.
sister gonna do is humble you.
She's
My sister, Zakayla, if she watching, she know.
Oh my gosh. And the thing is, I would rather my sister criticize me because it's out of love
right.
And someone
than
else.
somebody else in
Absolutely.
the comments. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we're about to record a few days ago. I FaceTime my sister, no hi, hello. Strong eyebrows, huh?
I was like, damn.
My sister the other day said, okay, so the right has a curve and the left is a square. I said,
Right.
oh my.
You know this is literally, I'm so insecure with my eyebrows. Like it's just so hard to make them look like sisters.
No,
it's
yes.
so freaking hard
Literally.
every time.
But it's so much love. And to your point, that's why you can receive it because it's like, tell me in the house.
in the house,
I can't imagine a world without sisters. I'm not gonna lie.
I love it here.
I feel like I really resonate with like female friendships when they have a sister because I'm like, you understand.
You
Yeah.
understand.
Get it.
You get it.
If the
Because
girls
my
don't get it,
sister
get
will
it.
be like, what you got on?
and you
on
would've thought-
Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, like, She be in my car. I deletes.
Right.
Like,
Text
girl,
me.
right?
Like,
We have each
please.
other's numbers.
This is on
FaceTime
social
me.
media. Come
Right.
on, what?
Yeah.
Sisters or sisters?
Especially younger sisters.
Oh, younger sisters.
It's amazing because it's like no matter where you go, it's like they're always like your childhood goes with you with the
Yes.
sister.
Oh my gosh, I saw a TikTok and it almost made me cry. It was showing like different lines, and it was like lines of like the time you spend with somebody in your life. And it was like parents, like their line is long, you only see them at their like adulthood. Friends, you might see each other at different, like the lines were intersecting. And then siblings, it was like together, parallel.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like,
Let me call my sister right
right.
now.
I said if she didn't steal my shirt, I would call her. Like,
Oh my gosh. I know I've grown because growing up, the rule was you can't wear her shirt or you can't steal her shirt unless she's worn it once. That was the rule.
oh yeah.
Yeah, because I have two sisters. We were all the same size. So then now I'm making sister bags. Like, I don't need this. I'm not going to wear
Oh,
that.
really?
Every time they come to Denver, here's a sister bag. And I'm
shopping.
like, we used to scrap because is that my shirt?
Right.
Mom, she's wearing my shirt. Like, bro, like, and Mom's like, that she just got off of work. She's y'all figure it out.
Right.
No, yeah. For
Close
me,
that
that's my
door.
mom, because your mom wore the same shoe size.
Oh.
She came to visit me like 3 weeks ago, and she was like, "Are those my shoes?"
What?
I said,
Who said that?
I said, "Who said that?"
Right.
I said, "You want to go out to eat?"
right. Let's go eat something.
You hungry?
Yeah. But I love a good
Yeah.
sister.
Oh, love my sister.
Yeah. Shout out to our sisters.
Shout out to our sisters.
Right, we love you.
Love y'all. I don't know where I would be. The amount of time I call them probably once or twice a day. And my sister, I gotta find the sister group chat. The sisters are very dramatic, I will say. I didn't answer the call because I was at work, of course. Sometimes it hurts my heart to know my sisters hate me.
Like,
Oh.
We're all dramatic like that, but it's like, bro, I'm in a meeting,
I'm
bro.
sorry.
right.
I'm trying to get Christmas money for y'all. Like,
right.
come
Like
on.
this is a mission here.
But the thing is,
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
Okay, I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest too.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh my
good.
goodness.
Older
Type
sister
A.
vibes.
Older sister.
Yeah.
I think older sisters by default are type
Type
A.
A,
We have
yeah.
to be.
It's making sense.
It's
Yeah.
all yeah.
Yeah.
This
Clicking.
conversation is
Mhm.
making a lot of sense. Yeah. But you want to do the last one, moms?
Oh yeah. Okay. So has there been any guests from CultureCon that has come and you're just like starstruck, or you were just so excited to meet them?
Ooh. I mean, this is a two-way tie, I think, between Issa Rae last year, which was just such an out-of-body experience
Yeah.
because Insecure is such a love story. I just, and she's just incredible. And I think she was like, it's grown, hasn't it? And I'm like, you know,
You saw it at the start,
right? You knew what we were.
Right.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then Tracy Ellis Ross, who came and just. And she came twice. Like she came 2 years in a row and came out to the audience to like Diana Ross, I'm coming out, and danced on the stage. And I just think it's like we can just hang it up.
That's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
it.
conference ended. We're
That-
good.
that we're
That's it.
good.
Yeah. It's over.
Goodbye.
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah. And just like seeing another Black woman that you aspire face to face and there's, speaking life into you.
Mm.
It's just like, I hope that continues everywhere at every level forever because like what you're doing is hard work. And to have someone affirm that, it's
Especially
just
an idol.
and yes,
Mm.
and you're like, and they know what you're doing is hard work because they had to do it too. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Oh my god,
It's
I got
amazing.
chills.
No, literally when you said Tracy Ellis
Especially when you
Ross,
mentioned
like,
Issa, because Insecure was like a
That's-
love language for our friendship.
Exactly.
We were just
Yes.
binging it every day. Like,
yeah, and be like, girl, I'm like, wake up.
Literally.
like it was, and then like I'm rewatching Girlfriends, and like I really align with Joan, and when I have like a twist down and things like that, like my sister's like, you look like
You're
like
in your Joan
Tracy."
era.
Yeah, I'm really in my Joan era. Which I mean, there's some things where I'm like, I gotta get out of my Joan era because
Yeah.
but 'cause she was type A, but
Right. She was type A down.
down. I
Yeah.
was like, I gotta pop. It's like, okay,
Uh-huh.
well, life is not that serious. Like,
Right.
it's okay to relax, which is very hard.
No, yeah,
To
it's
relax.
way easier said than done. I feel guilty relaxing.
This whole season, I think we've said it's easier said than done for everything because we've grown a lot, and we know we have a lot of younger type A Black girlies that are like I don't know how they could get like that.
I think it
promise
comes
y'all.
with time, though.
It comes with time.
because I was not relaxing 2 to 3 years ago. And
No.
now I'm like, I have no choice to, or else I will crash and burn.
And like you don't know what you don't know. Those have been like the 2 themes for this season.
Yeah.
Like this has been like
I might put that on our little, little title.
No.
You don't know what you don't know. It's easier said than
It's
done.
easier said than
Like,
done.
that's our
like,
theme.
That's
for
what
this
it
season.
is. And it's just, I don't know. It's just been like last season, I feel like was good because it was our first time in the studio. We were like, oh my gosh, like we're doing it. Like our money is really like going to something. But I feel like this season is like, we're doing it.
We're comfortable on the couch.
We're comfortable on the couch. Like we got like a beautiful guest, like an amazing guest. We were like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have Imani on. We got to get the,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've been literally looking forward since that night. We were literally looking forward to this.
When she texted me that, I said, "Moms, no,
I'm so
Yeah. And I will say a message for our type A Black girls, like literally just shoot your shot. Because I was like, she seems type A. Like I'm just gonna ask.
Yes.
Like the worst thing she can say is
That's the worst she could say.
no, and then we move on, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, you gotta shoot your shot.
yeah, that's the
Every
hardest
single-
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. But it's like, what's the worst that? Yeah, like you just said, what's the worst that could happen?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's, I love the quote. It's like, what if I fail? It's like, but what if you fly?
Ooh. We've been dropping gems.
I love this episode.
I
I'm
love
not gonna
words.
hold
I
you.
love
I
quotes.
love
I-
words.
yeah.
I'm not gonna hold you. The TikTok or the swipes that they be getting saved.
Oh my god.
They be changing lives.
Tell me why I created a little like widget on my phone. So now like it's like Pinterest quotes.
Oh, love.
And it just swipes through every day a different one.
And sometimes you really need it.
And every day I'm like, oh, I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
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 Oh my gosh.
But guys, I mean, we don't have a Why Would You Say That this episode because
Yes.
it's really just been so long.
Yeah.
But we do have Why Would You Say That is our segment where we just say the most insane things we've seen online. And
Yeah.
we're like, why would you say that?
Why? Because the thing is, like, as friends, like, we say some very out of pocket stuff. So it's like, girl, why would you
say that? It
Like,
started with us with each other,
Yeah.
and then we're like on Twitter, like, girl,
why would they do that? Why would they say that? Yeah, we were like, I don't know. Because sometimes it can get real unhinged. So that's why we save it to the end. So it's like, if you watch all the way to the end, you can get the unhingedness. But like,
Oh,
if
yeah.
my manager clicked on this episode,
And that's the first thing we start off with.
Right.
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Honestly,
like, what a
when
little treat at the end.
Oh,
yes,
it's like / pop culture because we'll be talking about like the craziest things that have happened in pop culture.
exactly.
And honestly, a lot of it was because we were just Delulu. We'd film so late at night that it'd be midnight. So it was just like we would just start giggling. Like towards the end of the episode, it would just be unhinged.
Well, literally, why would you say that? But instead of why would you say that, we do
have a little gift.
We have a few gifts for you.
Yes.
Yes.
And
I love a gift.
you know,
Yeah.
okay. And she saw a sneak peek over there. I was like, oh no.
Exactly. Oh, moms, do you want to introduce this one first? Oh yes.
Okay, so we have this little notebook for you. You guys can't see it, but it says difference maker. We were like, okay, we know you've just done so much for the creative community, and we just really are inspired by the work that you do. So this one's specifically for you.
How did you guys get it with Imani?
Girl, Etsy. I was on Etsy, like, please
Girl,
do the name
we
right.
was a month ago. We were like, what are we getting our guests? Like, we gotta, yeah.
Yeah.
This is so thoughtful.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Thank
No,
you.
yeah, of course.
I
Oh my
make
gosh.
gift. Like,
Okay,
look
no,
at the details.
Yeah, literally,
It's
I
the
was like,
details.
we were like, okay, maybe we could get like a little care package with like some like candles and bath stuff. But we're like, no, like she
This
needs
needs
a
to be
notebook.
This is going
customized.
on the desk, and everyone will look at it.
No,
Right.
absolutely. Like
Exactly.
Imani, difference maker, period. Like,
Right.
and isn't in her bio correct?
I think I don't know, but
Well,
I don't know.
It
It
should
should
be.
be. If not, it will be now.
It should be.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank y'all so
yeah. And
much.
then our second one. So we got these literally a few days ago. So all the guests that we had this season was supposed to get this, and they will. But
yeah, the Etsy was a little late with these
Little
shipping. Now listen, I'm gonna warn you. This kind of smells like a boy scent. Now we ordered it online and we were like, we sniffed it and he said, oh, that's giving mahogany teak wood.
yeah.
Oh,
supposed to be.
which I love.
Yeah.
I love
Okay,
the masculine
okay, love.
energy.
Yeah.
Okay, but this one says light this while listening to Type A Black Girls.
Yes.
So
Oh, and
when
I
this
will.
episode comes out, it has little matches too, which I thought was literally so cute.
Yeah.
So
I'm not worthy. Thank y'all so much.
No, you
No,
are.
you
You
definitely
literally
are.
are. Yeah.
So sweet. Thank you.
No, of course,
So,
of course.
yeah.
So if you've ever been a guest here, you will
will
also
get yours in the
these
mail.
candles. Yes.
Yeah, because
Yes.
we literally have like 90 candles
Several,
at my
yeah.
apartment right now.
Yeah.
So
Thank y'all so
No,
much.
of course, of course.
But thank you so much for coming on. Thanks
Yeah,
again,
this was
Imani.
beautiful.
We're gonna have literally every single link you ever had in our description,
Yeah.
so we can put our listeners on.
No, for real.
Also, I think from what we saw, like anyone that's a student can attend CultureCon for free. So
Yes.
any
Oh,
students,
love.
if you want to go, like we will have a link to that as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yeah.
this
This
is
was
such a
beautiful.
fun episode.
Yeah.
We dropped so many gems.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so
y'all
much.
Thank you
so
so
much.
much for coming
Yes.
on.
I loved it. Thank
Oh,
you.
Yay.
beautiful. Okay, you guys. See
We'll
you
talk to
next
you next week.
episode.
Bye.